Imagine if a straightforward scoop could turn your ordinary bowl of soup into a shield against weakness. For most people over 60, soup is just comfort food, warm, familiar, and easy to digest. But with one powerful addition, that soup can become a weapon against age-related muscle loss, painful joints, and the creeping frailty that many accept as inevitable. I've seen this transformation firsthand. My neighbor, Robert, a 68-year-old retired schoolteacher, used to struggle lifting his young grandson. It broke his heart. The boy would run toward him, arms wide, and Robert would wince, knowing his arms and back weren't strong enough. 6 months later, I saw them at the park. Robert not only lifted his grandson with ease, but he also carried him on his shoulders around the entire playground. Both of them laughed so hard they drew the attention of everyone nearby. It was as if Robert had discovered his fountain of youth. What changed wasn't a gym membership, an expensive supplement, or a strict new diet. It was simply one small addition to the soup he ate 3 times a week. The results were so remarkable that even his doctor thought her measurement machine was broken. But it wasn't. Robert had rebuilt muscle mass, naturally. And here's the most exciting part. You likely already have the key ingredient in your kitchen right now. It's not exotic or complicated, but it is backed by years of research from the Mayo Clinic, Johns Hopkins, and even long-term studies of people over 100 still living independently. By the end of this letter, you'll see why this simple addition could mean the difference between struggling with grocery bags at 70 or playing tennis at 85. Now let's talk about what's happening inside your body after age 60. I call it the invisible thief. Scientists know it as sarcopenia, the gradual and relentless loss of muscle. You don't see it happening daily, but over time, it quietly steals your strength, energy, and even independence. Here's the truth. Starting around age 30, most people lose between 3 and 8% of their muscle mass every decade. That's not too noticeable at first, but once you reach your 60s, the pace accelerates dramatically. By the time you're 70, you may have lost up to 40% of the muscle you had in your youth. That's like trying to live on a savings account that keeps shrinking faster than you can refill it. Think of your muscles as a lifelong bank account. In your younger years, every movement, every walk, every chore was a deposit. You were building reserves of strength without even realizing it. But after 60, the withdrawals start happening more quickly, and unless you act, the account keeps draining. The result? Even simple tasks like climbing stairs or carrying groceries begin to feel harder than they should. And this loss isn't just about biceps or leg muscles. Muscle tissue is your body's engine. It regulates blood sugar, supports bone density, keeps your metabolism running, and gives you the balance and stability to avoid dangerous falls. When muscle fades, it sets off a domino effect. Blood sugar climbs, bones weaken, metabolism slows, and risks of falls multiply. I'll never forget what happened to my Uncle Michael, age 72. One morning, he turned too quickly while tending to his garden and collapsed. He didn't trip over anything. His legs couldn't support the sudden movement. The fall broke his hip and led to months of recovery. That single accident accelerated even more muscle loss, trapping him in a vicious cycle of weakness and frustration. But here's the good news. This cycle is not inevitable. Scientists from the National Institutes of Health have confirmed that older adults can stop and reverse this muscle decline with the proper nutrients and daily habits. And as you'll soon see, the secret addition I'm about to reveal is one of the simplest and most effective tools to help you fight back. So what does it take to keep your muscles strong after 60? The answer is more straightforward and surprising than most people realize. Your muscles depend on 3 critical things. Missing even one is like building a house without workers, blueprints, or bricks. The first is protein building blocks. Your body needs these amino acids to repair and build muscle tissue. Most of us understand this part. That's why so many older adults try to eat more chicken, eggs, or beans. But here's the problem. Protein alone doesn't guarantee stronger muscles. You can have all the bricks in the world, but nothing gets built if no one's stacking them. That brings us to the second factor, a trigger for protein synthesis. This signal tells your body it's time to use those amino acids to build muscle. In younger people, exercise often provides that signal. But after 60, your body doesn't respond as strongly. So many seniors lose muscle even if they stay active. They need an extra push, a natural spark that reignites the muscle building process. The third key is reducing inflammation. Chronic, low-grade inflammation is one of the hidden reasons muscles weaken with age. Inflammation breaks down existing muscle fibers and blocks your body's ability to build new ones. Think of it as termites gnawing at the wooden frame of your house, slowly, silently, and relentlessly. Here's the exciting part. Researchers at Harvard Health recently reported that older adults who address all three factors, protein, synthesis triggers, and anti-inflammatories, see the most significant improvements in strength and independence. And this is precisely why the Simple Soup addition I'll reveal works so well. It doesn't just give you the bricks of protein, it also flips the switch that activates muscle growth while calming the hidden inflammation holding your body back. That's why people who use it often notice results faster than they thought possible, walking longer, moving easier, and feeling steadier. Most people focus only on eating more protein. But now you know the whole picture. Strength after 60 requires all three pieces working together. And the good news? One powerful, natural food addition provides precisely that. What if there was one food that could stop muscle loss in its tracks, and even reverse years of decline? That's not wishful thinking. It's the reality shown by multiple scientific studies when older adults added a specific nutrient source to their diets. In 2019, researchers published a groundbreaking study in the Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia, and Muscle. They found that adults over 65 who consumed this nutrient-rich food daily for 12 weeks gained an average of 7.5% more muscle mass. To put that into perspective, that's nearly a decade of lost strength restored in only 3 months. Imagine bending to pick up your grandchild, climbing stairs without stopping, or getting out of a chair with ease again. That's the difference this makes. And it doesn't stop there. A European Journal of Clinical Nutrition study revealed that seniors who included it regularly had 23% better muscle function scores than those who didn't. That means they walked farther, stood up from chairs more quickly, and had noticeably better balance. These aren't abstract lab numbers, real-life improvements that protect independence and confidence. Perhaps the most fascinating finding comes from McMaster University in Canada. Their research showed that this nutrient doesn't just preserve muscle, it makes the muscle you already have work more efficiently. Think of it like upgrading your car's old engine. You're still driving the exact vehicle, but suddenly it runs smoother, uses fuel better, and performs beyond what you thought it could. So why does this addition work so well? Because it tackles all three requirements we just talked about. It provides amino acids, the building blocks of muscle. It delivers compounds that directly trigger protein synthesis, flipping the switch that tells your body to grow stronger. It also carries anti-inflammatory molecules that protect the muscle tissue you already have, stopping the termites from gnawing away at your foundation. This is why so many people who try it see their doctors surprised at their progress. Some physicians even double-check their machines because the gains seem too good. But they're real, and they're reproducible. And the best part? This isn't some exotic powder or overpriced supplement. You can prepare it right at home, often with ingredients you already have on hand. In just a moment, I'll reveal exactly what it is and how to prepare it in a way that unlocks its full potential. So, what is this mysterious addition that has researchers so excited, doctors surprised, and everyday people regaining strength they thought was gone forever? Believe it or not, it's something as simple and traditional as bone broth. Now, before you shrug and think, that's it? Bone broth? Let me explain. We're not talking about the watery cartons in the supermarket or the overpriced jars from trendy health stores. Most of those contain little more than flavored water. A Cornell University analysis found 87% of store-bought bone broths contain less than 2 grams of collagen per serving, nowhere near enough to rebuild aging muscle. Some are made with bones stripped of marrow, leaving you with almost no nutrients. The kind of bone broth that transforms muscle health follows 3 precise rules. First, it must be made with the correct ratio of bones, about 60% marrow bones and 40% knuckle bones. Marrow bones supply rich collagen and growth factors, while knuckle bones are loaded with compounds that reduce inflammation. Together, they create a nutrient profile that shortcuts can't match. Second, it must be simmered for 24 to 48 hours at the right temperature, between 180 and 190 degrees. This slow process breaks collagen into bioavailable peptides your body can immediately use to rebuild muscle. For short cooking times, just don't cut it. At 12 hours, you only extract around 40% of the nutrients. At 48 hours, you've drawn out over 90%, including rare amino acids like hydroxyproline that are nearly impossible to get elsewhere. Third, this step is crucial. Add a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar per gallon of water before cooking. The gentle acidity helps release calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus from the bones, minerals essential for muscle contraction and recovery. It also unlocks osteocalcin, a hormone that improves insulin sensitivity and supports testosterone production in men and women over 60. When you combine these 3 rules, you get far more than just a comforting broth. You create a nutrient powerhouse that delivers 19 amino acids, anti-inflammatory compounds, and growth factors that stimulate new muscle cell formation. So yes, it is bone broth, but not the weak, boxed version. It's bone broth prepared with precision. The kind that transforms an ordinary meal into a daily practice for strength, energy, and independence. Now, bone broth on its own is robust. But what if I told you there are simple, everyday additions that can turn it into a muscle-building super soup? Consider these natural boosters, minor upgrades that make a big difference. Add just 1 or 2, and you'll notice faster results. Add all 7, and you'll have one of the complete muscle-supporting meals on Earth. Booster 1. Turmeric with black pepper. You've probably heard of turmeric as an anti-inflammatory spice, but here's the catch. Without black pepper, your body absorbs less than 3% of it. Just half a teaspoon of turmeric with 1/8 teaspoon of pepper reduces muscle inflammation by up to 40%, according to the Journal of Medicinal Food. It's like turning off the fire that burns away muscle tissue. Booster 2. Fresh ginger. A thumb-sized piece added near the end of cooking does wonders. Research from the University of Georgia shows that ginger reduces muscle damage from activity by 25%. What's more, compounds in ginger mimic some of the signals triggered by resistance training. In other words, it reminds your body to stay in muscle-building mode. Booster 3. Legumes, white beans, lentils, or chickpeas. Half a cup added to your broth provides leucine, the amino acid that flips the muscle-building switch. A Japanese study showed that collagen-rich broth plus leucine-rich beans increased muscle growth by 50% more than either one alone. As a bonus, legumes feed healthy gut bacteria, which improve nutrient absorption. Booster 4. Leafy greens like spinach or kale. Add a handful at the end of cooking. They're rich in nitrates, which improve blood flow and help shuttle amino acids into your muscles. In 6 weeks, Older adults who ate nitrate-rich veggies with protein had 11% better muscle function. Booster 5. Mushrooms. Shiitake, maitake, or lion's mane aren't just delicious. They bring beta-glucans that lower cortisol, the stress hormone that breaks down muscle. They also provide vitamin D, which supports hormone balance, which is critical for strength. Lion's mane even improves nerve muscle communication, helping with coordination. Booster 6. Extra virgin olive oil. A drizzle right before serving delivers powerful polyphenols. Studies of Greek centenarians show that those who consume olive oil daily have 31% less muscle loss as they age. Booster 7. Ceylon cinnamon. Just a quarter teaspoon helps muscles absorb nutrients more effectively by improving insulin sensitivity. In studies on older adults, daily cinnamon intake preserved up to 15% more muscle mass over 2 years. The beauty of these boosters is that they're simple. They don't require fancy recipes or expensive products. They're everyday foods, with extraordinary benefits when combined with bone broth. Even starting with one, like turmeric or beans, can give your muscles the edge they need to stay strong. Now that you know the secret and boosters, let's combine them into a simple blueprint. This isn't just about throwing a few bones into a pot. How you prepare this broth makes all the difference between an ordinary soup and a nutrient-rich powerhouse. Step 1. Roast your bones. Start with about 2 pounds of marrow and 2 pounds of knuckle bones. Please place them in a 450-degree Celsius oven for about 45 minutes, turning once. Roasting does more than deepen flavor. It begins breaking down the collagen, making it easier to extract later. It also creates special compounds through caramelization that help fight inflammation. Step 2. Set up your simmer. Place the roasted bones in a large pot or slow cooker. Cover with water so they're submerged by about 2 inches, and add 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar per gallon. Don't skip this step. Acidity pulls minerals like calcium and magnesium from the bones. Then bring the pot to a gentle simmer at around 180–190 degrees. That's hot enough to extract nutrients, but not so hot that proteins get destroyed. Step 3. Be patient. At 12 hours, you've pulled out only 40% of the nutrition. At 24 hours, about 75%. At 48 hours, over 90%. This is why true bone broth isn't fast food. The long simmer is what makes it medicinal. If you can, aim for the full 48 hours. Step 4. Time your additions. Around hour 24, add herbs like rosemary or thyme. Their antioxidants protect the delicate amino acids from breaking down. In the last 20 minutes, grate in fresh ginger or turmeric with black pepper. If you're adding vegetables, remember, hard ones like carrots need about 15 minutes, mushrooms about 10, and leafy greens just 5 minutes to keep their nutrients intact. Step 5. Finish with care. Before serving, drizzle in olive oil, sprinkle herbs like parsley, or squeeze lemon juice for extra vitamin C, which helps collagen do its job. Never microwave the broth, as high heat can damage the proteins you worked hours to extract. The result is a soup that isn't just comforting, carefully engineered to support your muscles, joints, and energy. Think of it as a daily ritual, a bowl of strength you can prepare once a week and enjoy daily. For centuries, our grandparents and great-grandparents instinctively knew what modern science is now proving. Soups and stews made with bones, herbs, and vegetables were never just comforted food. They were medicine. Researchers call it nutrient synergy today, but traditional cultures have practiced it for generations. Take the Okinawans of Japan, known for having one of the highest concentrations of people who live past 100. Their diet isn't built on supplements or fad diets. Instead, it includes daily bowls of broth made from pork bones, seaweed, and fresh vegetables. Scientists studying Okinawa found that this combination provided amino acids, minerals, and antioxidants in perfect harmony, exactly what aging muscles need. Or look at the mountain villagers of Bulgaria. Despite living in rugged terrain well into old age, many retain impressive strength and stamina. Their traditional meals often feature slow-cooked soups made with bones, legumes, and wild herbs. They weren't measuring collagen peptides or amino acid profiles. Still, they intuitively created the same nutrient synergy researchers at Harvard now highlight as key to preserving muscle into the 70s, 80s, and beyond. Here's what science has revealed. When you combine collagen from bone broth with leucine from legumes, nitrates from greens, and anti-inflammatory compounds from spices like turmeric and ginger, the effects multiply. The body doesn't just add these benefits together, it magnifies them. Harvard Medical School reports that older adults consuming multiple muscle-supporting nutrients together maintained 3 times more muscle mass than those relying on one nutrient alone. Even more exciting, studies at Tufts University found that this synergy activates dormant satellite cells, the stem cells inside your muscles that can create new fibers. That means you're not just preserving muscle but rebuilding it, even in your 70s or 80s. Think about that. Cultures that have never heard of mTOR pathways or amino acid signaling still practice the cooking methods that science now shows protect strength and independence. A pot of broth simmering on the stove wasn't just dinner, it was a safeguard against frailty, a daily insurance policy for mobility and vitality. And the best part? We can take this wisdom and combine it with modern knowledge, with the right bones, cooking method, and boosters. Your kitchen can produce the same life-sustaining meals that have nourished the world's healthiest elders for centuries. One of the most encouraging things about this approach is its flexibility. You don't have to follow a rigid plan or eat the same soup daily to benefit. You can customize your broth to match your preferences, health needs, and even your digestive comfort with a few adjustments. For example, not everyone can tolerate bone broth right away. Some people find it too rich at first. That doesn't mean you're out of luck. A powerful vegetarian version can be made by simmering mineral-rich seaweed like kombu, dried mushrooms for vitamin D, and root vegetables for 12 hours. Add a tablespoon of miso paste at the end, and you have probiotics and extra amino acids. Studies show this plant-based version still delivers about 70% of the muscle-preserving benefits of traditional bone broth. It's a fantastic option for anyone who avoids animal products or wants a lighter alternative. For those with sensitive digestion, a gradual approach works best. Start by drinking just the broth for a week. No beans, greens, or heavy additions. Once your system adjusts, add ginger, turmeric, vegetables, and legumes. Each layer builds more muscle-supporting power while allowing your digestive system to keep up. There's also flexibility in how you enjoy it. Some make it their breakfast, stirring in a soft-boiled egg for extra protein. Others prefer it as a light lunch, adding shredded chicken or wild-caught fish. Many love it as a mid-afternoon pick-me-up, a warming cup that prevents muscle breakdown, often during the day when cortisol levels rise. I think of Susan, a 70-year-old grandmother who told me she couldn't stomach heavy foods in the morning. She started with a simple vegetable broth flavored with turmeric and ginger. Within weeks, she noticed more energy in her legs while climbing stairs. Later, she added beans and spinach, and her balance improved noticeably. What mattered wasn't starting perfectly. It was starting with what worked for her body. That's the real power of this method. It's not a one-size-fits-all program. It's a framework you can adapt. Whether you're vegetarian, managing digestion, or simply looking for variety, there's a version that fits seamlessly into your daily routine. And when you make it enjoyable and sustainable, you're far more likely to stick with it. And that's when the transformation truly happens. This isn't a 30-day challenge. It's not a quick fix or another fad you'll abandon after a few weeks. This broth is robust when it becomes part of your daily rhythm, as natural and automatic as brushing your teeth or having morning coffee. When you make it a ritual, something amazing happens. The small, steady deposits of strength add up. Each bowl is like a quiet investment into your body's future. Building reserves you'll draw from months and years down the road. It doesn't feel like hard work, but the results are unmistakable. I've seen it with Robert, the retired teacher who can now easily lift his grandson. He told me that making broth became his Sunday habit. Every weekend he simmered a batch, portioned it into jars, and then warmed one up each day for lunch. Within 6 months, he went from struggling with simple chores to leading hikes for his retirement group. Then there's Patricia, 67, who always loved dancing but had stopped because her knees felt too weak. She made her broth a nightly ritual, sipping it before bed. She didn't expect much, but within a few months, she noticed she could move more gracefully again. Today, she's back on the ballroom dance floor, confidently spinning. Science explains why consistency matters so much. Muscle loss after 60 can happen at a rate of 0.5% to 1% each month. That doesn't sound like much, but it's 6 to 12% gone over a year. And once that muscle is lost, regaining it is far more complicated than maintaining it. That's why every day counts. Each bowl of broth slows the clock, turning back what aging tries to take away. The beauty of this ritual is its simplicity. You don't need gym memberships, expensive powders, or complicated programs. You need a pot, a few ingredients, and the willingness to repeat the process. It becomes second nature with time. Comforting, nourishing, and convenient. And before long, you're not just drinking soup. You're building a future where you can climb stairs, carry groceries, play with grandchildren, or dance without fear. Small steps, repeated daily, create significant, lasting change. That's the promise of turning this broth into a ritual. Every bowl of this broth is more than just food. It's an investment in your strength, freedom, and future. Muscle isn't about looking younger in the mirror. It's about living fully, moving confidently, and keeping your independence for as long as possible. The science is precise. After 60, muscle loss accelerates. Each month without action means another 0.5 to 1% of strength quietly slipping away. Over a year, that adds up to 6 to 12%. Left unchecked, it can be the difference between easy walking and struggling with simple daily tasks. But here's the good news. The same process works in reverse. You can stop this decline with the proper nutrients and habits, and even rebuild what was lost. You don't need expensive supplements or strict programs. You don't have to run marathons or spend hours in the gym. You need a pot, a handful of ingredients, and the commitment to turn this into a daily ritual. The broth does the heavy lifting, nourishing your muscles with collagen, amino acids, and anti-inflammatory compounds that science shows truly make a difference. I've seen it work in neighbors, friends, and family. People who thought decline was inevitable are now hiking, dancing, and carrying their grandchildren with joy. They didn't discover a miracle drug. They chose a simple practice, one bowl at a time. Now it's your turn. Picture yourself 6 months from today, more assertive, steadier, and more confident. Imagine the look on your loved ones' faces when they notice the difference in your energy and vitality. That future starts with the first batch you make this week. So gather your ingredients, simmer your broth, make it part of your day. Your muscles are ready to respond. Your stronger self is waiting, one comforting bowl at a time.